Hi, and welcome to another episode of Inside Oakland County. I'm your host, Oakland County Commissioner John Scott. Well, what's been going on in Oakland County these past few weeks? Well, let's start with the Oakland County Board of Commissioners. On July 16th, Oakland County Executive L. Brooks Patterson presented the proposed budget for fiscal year 2015 through 2017 to the Board of Commissioners. And here it is. This is the county budget for fiscal year 2015 through 2017. Now remember, it's the Board of Commissioners who has to approve this budget. That doesn't mean the board will just rubber stamp what is presented to us by the county executive. In fact, right now, the Board of Commissioners is holding budget hearings. As the term implies, we're reviewing the budget department by department and line by line. We've already held hearings for the Oakland County Executive, the Circuit Court, the Probate Court, and District Court. By the time the hearings are completed, we will have reviewed the Treasurer's Office, Water Resources Commissioner, the Prosecutor and Sheriff's Office, the Board of Commissioners, the Library Board, the Parks and Recreation, and the Clerk Register of Deeds. I'd like to give you a short description of the process used to get to where we are today in the budget process. Basically, each department is given an amount of money to run their department. But the process actually starts earlier in the year. As early as, say, March, we start looking, the county executive and his staff does, at our income that we'll have coming in and the expenditures that we have to cover. In other words, providing the services that we're supposed to do. So, the county executive then gives what is called a budget task to the electeds and to the department heads. And those people then will look at it and see what it is. You know, in years past when things were really tough, those budget tasks were actually telling the departments you had to cut. You had to make a lot of cuts. And you know, they have done that. And the cuts were made. So fortunately this year, we don't have to make those cuts. In fact, the Oakland County employees are going to get a 3% raise. Now, what does that mean though? You understand they took a 4.5% cut back in '09. And this raise here will put them back up to what they made in 2009. So technically, they're still 5 years behind where they would have been had they been getting raises that were tied to what's called inflation, even though it's been small. So we've done that. There are another raises will be for the countywides. That would be those 6 countywides would be the prosecutor, the sheriff, the clerk, the treasurer, the county executive, and the water resources commissioners. They're all going to get a 3% raise. Now, I'm working hard, and I know by the time this budget's approved, the Board of Commissioners, those county commissioners, all 21 of us, will not see a pay raise. We're going to stick right where we are for the next 2 years. I will be making an motion to amend the budget to freeze our pay, to hold it back, and it's just, I feel that that's a good thing for us to do as elected officials representing you, the public. You know, recently, the Oakland County Parks and Recreation hosted the USA Great Lakes BMX Championships at Waterford Oaks. Did you know we even have a BMX course in Oakland County? Well, we do. And you know it's been around for 40 years. I was on hand to present the organizers with a proclamation from the Board of Commissioners commemorating this great occasion. In fact, I'll tell you some funny stories about the BMX. One of our former commissioners, a friend of mine, he didn't know we had that until his grandson started doing BMX. And it's a really big sport. People came from all over the country to attend this. I saw license plates from Nevada. I saw license plates from Pennsylvania. I met some guys that came in from Canada to participate in this event. It was a huge event and a big success. Do you know over 4,000 people were at that event? That's 4,000 people that came to Oakland County to enjoy what we have to offer. And for county parks, we wanted to make it an enjoyable experience for those that wanted to camp. In that area that we have it at the Waterford Oaks, there is a large area that they were able to put motorhomes and tents. We even brought our portable stage out so they had music in the evening, a regular camping experience. we took those fire rings that we use at our parks and had one of those there, and we had wood supplied so they could have campfires, you know, making s'mores and things like that. And the county also has those inflatables, so we brought the inflatables out, a couple of them, for the kids to do some jousting and some mountain climbing type stuff too. So it was really, really cool and a good time. Have you ever heard of foot golf? Well, it sounds like how some golfers used to get out of the deep rough. It's actually a game of golf played on our golf course with a soccer ball and your foot. No clubs. Basically, you're counting how many kicks it takes to get that soccer ball into the oversized hole. Now, the cup is 21 inches in diameter. You know, the county parks has purchased the equipment, and we're going to be debuting that foot golf this fall at Red Oaks Golf Course in Madison Heights. So, you know, if you're a soccer player, you'll really enjoy this game, and it's a fun time. You all remember that July 27th storm that hit us a couple weeks ago? That was a storm. Big winds, heavy rain, and when those things happen, you know, the trees break. When a tree breaks, it falls down. What's it fall on? The power lines. And there we sit, no electricity. I'm sure many of you in Waterford, West Bloomfield, Keego Harbor, Sylvan, I saw the destruction. I lived through it. We were without power for 2 days. In fact, our street was blocked for one until we could finally get out of the subdivision. But that's not the point. What we really get is a lot of questions about why did it take Edison so long to get us up and running? How do they prioritize? Who do they decide they're going to come to, and who's going to get their power first? Well, they look at the map, they look at how many people are out, and they go and try to get the most amount of people restored before they move on to the next project where they need to go. So the crews come in, and for instance, the neighborhood I was in, there was 2,500 people without power. So they concentrated on that area. There was a line that went down that was blocking the road to Dodge Park. They had to get that telephone pole up, plus all the branches and everything. It took longer to clear the brush out of the area just so they could access the power lines to get them up and running. Well, they did it. And another thing to remember, when you lose power, Edison's also going to look at the area. Are you serviced with infrastructure like water and sewer? Well, you're going to be probably a notch down on the list from an area that, say, has wells and septic tanks, because they want to make sure that they have those necessary items functioning first. So they will go out to those areas. In our case, it was the fact that there were 2,500 people in my neighborhood, and then there were less people out. I had somebody I talked to out in Bloomfield Township, and he was still out on Tuesday night, and I think it took them another day. But in that neighborhood, there were only 100 people without a power. We're going to take a short break, so don't go away.